Welcome to The Explainer. You know, when we think of military power, we usually picture massive aircraft carriers or billion-dollar stealth jets. But what if I told you the future of war is actually being decided by cheap, disposable drones and some very unexpected new deals? Today, we're going to break down how this combination is literally rewriting the rulebook on global conflict.
And to really get a grip on this, we're not starting with a history lesson. We're jumping right into the middle of the action, with an urgent alert that shows you just how fast the modern battlefield can flip on its head.
So, picture this. It's late September 2025. A team at Yale's Humanitarian Research Lab. These are the folks who use satellite imagery and open-source data to keep an eye on conflicts. They issue an emergency alert.
They had spotted something seriously alarming down in Sudan. Looking at satellite feeds, they saw clear evidence that one of the main factions in the civil war, the RSF, was getting ready to launch a massive drone attack.
Okay, check this out, because this is what really shows you the insane speed of modern threats. Look at these two images. On the left, a pretty much empty field near an airport. 3 days later, 3 days, that same field is packed with at least 43 drones and tons of launchers, all ready to go.
So what exactly are we looking at here? Well, a lot of them are Shahad-style drones, based on those infamous Iranian designs. These things are long-range, one-way trip suicide drones. We're talking a range that could let them hit targets literally anywhere in Sudan. And that brings up the big, flashing question. How in the world did a group in Sudan get their hands on this kind of tech? And what does that tell us about modern warfare?
To get that answer, we've got to zoom way out, because this story isn't just about Sudan. It's really about a huge fundamental shift happening in the global arms market.
So here's the deal. Countries all over the world are chasing something called strategic autonomy. What does that mean? Well, to put it simply, they're sick of relying on just one or two superpowers for all their military gear. They're branching out, finding new partners, and that gives them a ton more control and leverage.
Egypt is a perfect example, right? So they fly these really high-end French Rafale fighters. Top-of-the-line stuff, but at the same time, they're reportedly kicking the tires on China's J-10C fighter. And why would they do that? Well, the J-10C is about half the price, it's got modern radar, and it comes with some seriously advanced missiles. But here's the real kicker. There are no political strings attached. That's a huge difference from Western deals, where the absolute best tech is often held back for political reasons.
And that's the bottom line here. A whole new list of arms suppliers is rising up. You've got China, Turkey, South Korea, and they're all offering really advanced military tech, everything from stealth fighters to killer drones. And they're often doing it with deals that let countries build the stuff themselves, without all the political baggage of the old-school suppliers. And you really get how big a deal these new partnerships are when you look at what's actually being sold. I mean, we're not just talking about rifles and trucks here. We're talking about total game changers like cruise missiles. You know, the weapons that fly super low to sneak under radar and take out strategic targets.
And these deals are massive. I mean, Saudi Arabia isn't just trying to buy South Korea's advanced Chunmoo-3 cruise missile, which is basically their version of the American Tomahawk. No, they're negotiating to co-produce it right there on their own soil, starting with a first batch of 150 missiles. That's huge.
So this whole trend of new tech and countries making their own weapons, it's not just some theory. If you want to see what it looks like in practice and how devastating it can be, we have to turn to the war in Ukraine, where these new rules of war are being written in real time. In just 1 year, Ukrainian drones, a lot of them built right there in Ukraine, have managed to hunt down and destroy at least 15 Russian military aircraft and helicopters while they were sitting on the ground at their own air bases. They're striking deep behind enemy lines, hitting the very heart of Russian air power.
And it's not just planes. They've been systematically taking apart Russia's air defense network piece by piece. We're talking about an estimated $4 billion worth of Russia's most advanced systems just gone. They are literally blinding Russia's ability to see what's coming from the sky.
The scale of this new type of war is just mind-boggling. Ukraine is aiming to produce 7 million drones in 2026. 7 million! That's up from 4 million the year before. This isn't some niche gadget anymore. It's the absolute core of their entire military strategy. Now, to manage this giant new drone army, Ukraine has done something pretty wild. They've essentially gamified the battlefield. It's called the kill point system. Drone operators get points for taking out high-value targets. You blow up a tank, 40 points. A helicopter, that's 100 points. It's created this incredibly motivated and brutally efficient force, and every single kill is confirmed with video footage.
So let's connect the dots here for a second. You look at that swarm of advanced drones getting ready to launch in Sudan, and then you look at this digitally managed, almost video game-like drone war happening in Ukraine. You start to see a very clear pattern emerging, don't you?
What we're seeing isn't just about a few new weapons. It's way bigger than that. It's a fundamental change in what military power even means. We're watching the very beginning of a completely new kind of arms race.
The new reality of war really boils down to 4 big shifts. First, the most advanced tech is way more accessible than it's ever been. Second, nations are obsessed with building that tech themselves. Third, cheap, mass-produced drones give smaller countries a real fighting chance against huge, conventional armies. And finally, winning is becoming less about who has the biggest gun and more about who has the smartest software to run the whole show.
And all of this leaves us with a really critical question. As this technology spreads and all the old rules get thrown out the window, what really defines military power in the 21st century? Is it having the most expensive weapon, or is it having the most adaptable strategy?